Your country 1039 KGRT, Lady A, and you look good.
Time now for your question of the day. Brought to you by the Farmers and Crafts Markets of Las Cruces. Fresh produce, bread, meat, honey, food trucks, handmade art, music, and more. Every Saturday and Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. downtown Las Cruces.
That's right. Your question of the day brought to you by the Farmers and Crafts Market of Las Cruces. And I actually saw this yesterday, and immediately I thought, I've got to ask everybody what they think. But basically, it's a question about who you trust. There's a new Gallup poll that asked Americans which professions that they trust the most and which they trust the least. And at the very top of the list are nurses. Yeah, 76% of Americans have a positive view of the nurses. So there you go. Also, they were followed up by grade school teachers, military officers, pharmacists, and medical doctors. And the least trusted profession, not a real lot of surprises in this one, but the least trusted professions are lobbyists, followed by members of Congress, and then TV reporters. So not too surprised with that in all of the recent times. So I posed that question to you because I had to think about it. Who is it? If there is a profession that I trusted the most, who do I trust the most in there? And, you know, right now it would be my nurse practitioner that I go see. Every 3 months we get together, and I probably trust her the most out of all of the professions that are out there. Who do I trust the least? You know, I'm not going to get political, but, you know, any politician almost is one of those things where like, let me do some research on that. But I don't know. What about you? What profession do you trust the most or the least? Go ahead and let me know. Either one or both if you want to. That is my question for you today. And, of course, you can let me know your answers by calling them in, texting them in, and, of course, leaving your comments on our social media pages. We are live on Facebook and YouTube, so you can go ahead and join us there in a little bit. But, yeah, our question of the day for today, what profession do you trust the most or the least? Yeah, that is our question of the day, brought to you by the Farmers and Crafts Market of Las Cruces. All right, that all good. So now we are exclusively up on our social media pages, and if you have to think about this one for a little bit, go ahead and think about it. But what profession do you trust the most or the least? I've already got a text message here. The person that they trust the most would be artists. Okay, I can see that. And the one you trust the least would be mechanics. Oddly enough, I did not see that at the top of the list, but yeah, I can understand that one, because if you don't trust your mechanic, you know, who can you trust, really? And I know a few mechanics out there, and I do trust them, but, you know, because I personally know them, that's why. But what about you? That question of the day today, what profession do you trust the most or the least? Let me know your answers. Once again, call them in, text them in, or just leave your comments down below. In the meantime, let's go ahead and check out and see what's going on in and around the world. It looks like Amazon is ending its popular try before you buy service for Prime members. This actually allowed subscribers to try on select clothing items and accessories, shoes at home before actually completing the purchase. So, yeah, so apparently they are getting rid of that program and are just going instead to shift the focus towards sizing recommendations using AI. Yeah, not too surprised about that. Sofia Vergara and race car driver Lewis Hamilton recently sparked dating rumors. Ooh. And I'm looking forward to this, okay? I love Peeps. I just like them because it's you know, it's marshmallow. You can't help but love those. But the latest Peeps flavors for Easter include Egg Hunt. I'm not quite sure what that would be. A Tropical Punch, Churro, Pancakes and Syrup. Oh, that sounds good. Cotton Candy and Root Beer Float. Yeah. So those are some of the new flavors I am looking forward to. Pancakes and Syrup. Why haven't they done this one before? Also saw that General Mills is launching a new Cinnamon Toast Crunch strawberry flavor. So if you like your strawberries, that's interesting. And the FDA has or will be banning red dye number 3. Yeah, it's a synthetic dye used for candies, cookies, Peeps, mentioning those, and medication studies have linked it to the big C and ADHD as well. So I believe the New York Post listed foods that contain red dye number 3, which includes like Pez, Double Bubble, the original Twist bubblegum, Halloween candy, candy corn, Morningstar Farms veggie breakfast, original veggie bacon strips. That's another reason not to like veggie bacon. Some rice stuff, some Little Bites party cakes, also Fruit by the Foot, and Dole diced fruit cups. So all of those have red dye in there. I'm not sure why some of them even needed that, but red dye number 3, yeah, FDA is getting rid of that one. So that's what's going on in and around the world. And of course, we are looking for answers for our question of the day today, because I saw a new poll that asked Americans which professions they trust the most and which they trust the least. At the top of the most trusted professions would be our nurses out there. So big hand for all of our nurses out there. And I do trust the nurses that I know. And also, the least trusted profession is a lobbyist. Let's be honest. They're basically getting paid to tell you things about whoever's paying them. So that would definitely make sense. But pretty much, members of Congress and TV reporters actually fall in line in there as well. So I ask you the question, who do you trust the most, or what profession do you trust the most? That's the question. Or which profession do you trust the least? Yeah, let me know your answers. Once again, call them in, text them in, and of course, leave your comments down below. I love looking through these at the end of the day and see what answers we get. So let me know your answers for our question of the day. What profession do you trust the most or the least? That is our question of the day, brought to you by the Farmers and Crafts Market of Las Cruces.